Hello, my friends. Welcome back to MTD CNC. We are at the SHOT Show today, and yes, this cobot will be going in front of me and around me, and I'm kind of doing that on purpose because my buddy St. Nicholas over here is going to talk about Beamer laser marking systems, but how it coincides with the great partnership at Methods and Cobots and automation, because aren't we all doing automation at this point? And if we're not already doing it, we're thinking about it, and if we're just thinking about it, there's probably a reason why we haven't implemented it yet, and we all know we need to. So let's get there. Let's do it together. Let's get all of this reshoring, and let's get excited about it by partnering with the right people. So St. Nicholas and I are going to talk first about laser Beamer, and then we're going to talk about, and I said that backwards, so I'm just going to say it again real quick. St. Nicholas and I are going to talk about Beamer laser systems, and we're also going to talk about the automation with Methods. So, Nicholas, it's good to see you again. Your face is famous at this point. Let's talk about your lasers.
Gotcha. So National Sales Manager for Beamer Laser Marking Systems. We're here at SHOT Show 2023 and having an awesome time. We are in the Methods booth, so that's one of our authorized representatives, our largest authorized representative in the nation currently. Yeah, I'd love to talk more about the partnership between automation and laser marking.
I had a great privilege to talk with your brother not too long ago on his first ever live with MTD CNC, and he mentioned something to me because I kept asking everyone while I was at that Methods open house, show me or tell me something that's not repetitive that someone else out there can do just like you, right? And he brought up this really cool aspect, and I'm not going to talk about it, but I would like you to. Sure. Let's talk about some of the unique attributes that Beamer brings, other than being US made, which people love, but let's talk about some of the unique attributes that you guys are able to do that set you apart from the laser marking systems out there.
Well, something I want to get started with is the key differentiating factor that we are US manufactured, sourced, designed, and supported. Corporate headquarters in Flushing, Michigan, and we have a full North American footprint. Now, one of the things that we like to talk about is the transition in the industry nowadays, right? And how many organizations are now sourcing from overseas to compete solely on price instead of quality. And that's something that Beamer refuses to do to ensure that we have the highest quality product for industrial manufacturing. One of the unique features, specifically for the firearms industry, is our software. Our software has the functionality by one click of a button of taking your incremental serialization and turning it into a report. So it's a redundancy for the ATF or FFL audits that you might run into in the manufacturing realm. Specifically, what we talked about, or what Matthew had talked about at our open house in Phoenix, was the rotary marking functionality. So we have 5 different rotary options that are available for our machine equipment, and with that rotary option, specifically in the medical industry that utilizes it the most, is the rotation while marking, which is quite unique. Most organizations have to do a rotate and stitch, whereas we can actually rotate the part and mark it simultaneously to have a very, very consistent marking around for like incremental banding and things of that nature.
That's U.S. manufacturing for you, and I'm glad you started with that as well. Now, back in the day, when I was a younger man and I was a machinist, I had the opportunity to run some laser engraving machines, and mine happened to be in the woodworking world. And in that woodworking world, we'd make really cool things like family photos on cabinets, or your favorite sports team for the man cave, or whatever it might be like that, right? But it was, I would design it one way or another. It was like Corel Draw or something at this time. I would design it that way, change out my shadows, and I'd put it into my laser machine. But none of it was automated, and it would sit if I had to go do something else, and if I wasn't paying attention, or if I got called to do something else. So now let's talk about the automation side of working with, like this Methods cobots that's in front of us right now with Fanuc as well, that how it can work with your system.
That's great, a great question, or great to bring up, because all of our marking solutions from the B series and above come automation ready. They're PLC-driven machines, which gives us the opportunity or capability to add expandability to the machine. So as your throughput changes or your throughput increases, we have the capability of growing that same specific piece of equipment with the technology that you need. Specifically, when it comes to automation, there's a couple different ways that we actually break it down. When it comes to laser marking, there's always the traditional implementing one machine and designated it to one specific line, one cell, or one product line. When doing so and implementing a robot, a piece of CNC equipment, and the laser all in one cell, we can run lights out, overnight or throughout the day. 8, 10, 12-hour cycle times, right? Or how long you're running through that. Now, we also do engineered solutions. So it's something that we haven't really talked about because we can't necessarily bring an engineered solution to a show like this, right? But essentially, our engineered solutions are traditionally either a standard machine where we do a heavy amount of customization to it, like a hopper loader, a conveyor, a bowl feeder, and being able to do what we consider a partially automated solution. And essentially, if we were to envision a partially automated solution, would be to take a large batch of parts, 500 parts, 1,000 parts, whatever that might be, load up the machine, press the start button, walk away for a period of time. Now, when it comes to the robotic load and unload, when it comes to laser marking, there's a couple different things that you have to take into consideration. One of the things that we want to take into consideration is runtime, right? So for CNC equipment, and we're implementing the laser, that's downtime that the robot's actually sitting, so we're utilizing that. But it can become costly for our small to mid-sized manufacturers to try to designate each machine with a robot and a laser. So some of the other ideas that we have for larger manufacturers is utilizing 3D technology, 3D vision technology. And instead of taking like what we have here, where I can mark, every one of these parts in probably about a half hour, it doesn't necessarily justify the purchase of a whole robotic system. We can take, a bin about this size, implement a 3D vision system that has the capability of recognizing the part and its orientation inside of the container and picking up, thousands of parts where it can run for a very significant amount of time.
St. Nicholas, I gotta end this conversation. You're too good at this. You're gonna take my daggone job right about now. You're so well with talking about, the communication that you have, understanding the technology. I can see why Beamer is constantly growing across the country and why you've partnered and people want to partner with you when they've been around for decades as well, because they can rely on you and your experience. And let's be fair, this is some incredible technology as well.
Most certainly. Extremely reliable industrial pieces of equipment. And that's where we really thrive, right? It's high automation, production level machines that when uptime is of the essence, you need to have a Beamer.
That is a really great thing to say. I've heard that before with the cars, but now we've heard it with lasers as well. You gotta have a Beamer. With that being said, I am absolutely sure there's a group of people out there going, well, I could probably use Google and find Beamer, and we've already talked that it's in Michigan and American made.
Yes, sir.
But let's pretend for a second that somebody out there is not using Google and wants to go straight to your website. How can we find you?
So you can find us on the web at www.beamerlasermarking.com. You can also find us on LinkedIn. We do have a page there. Search Beamer Laser Marking Systems. We also have an Instagram, and I'm not exactly sure what the Instagram one is, but I'm sure if you search Beamer Laser Marking, it'll be able to pop up there. And we also have a YouTube channel, so please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel as we continue to add content there.
There you go, my friends. Beamer Laser Marking, American made, automation, everything you need if you're in that world of needing to, engrave, laser mark, all that fun stuff that Nick talked about way better than I do. So with that being said, Nick, thank you so much. I do appreciate you.
Always a pleasure.